Hi there, and welcome to my next video on my YouTube channel, Natural Harmony with Lorelei. Today, again, I'm in a beautiful piece of nature and I'm going to show you around a little bit where I am. The colors are about to change from the trees, autumn is setting in, and they're slowly but surely changing colors, which is a beautiful sight to see. And I guess it's in the week to come, it's going to be even more prettier. So I get the feeling of cozy because this weather for me is the one that's indoors. I make it nice and cozy. I mean, light the candles and stuff like that because the evenings are earlier dark. It's earlier dark now in the evenings. And in 1 week time, no, a few weeks time, sorry, the winter time will start in and it will be um, earlier dark even. So lots of candles will be burned, I can assure you. So coming to that cozy vibe again, I wanted to talk with you today about how what is a great compliment I find if people come to my house, you know, then they say, "Oh my God, it's so nice and cozy here." I mean, that says more to me. That's the biggest compliment they could give me because it's nicer than when they would say, "Oh yes, it's so pretty," because it's not pretty, it's cozy. So they catch the vibe, and that's a great compliment for me because that's my intention was to have a cozy home for myself, but also for my children and for friends if they come along for their friends. So I guess I succeeded in that, and I like that very much. And I wanted to share with you how I came to it or how I'm doing it, and just in general talk about how I came to this cozy house and how I just love it. And it's really a cozy house for anybody that pops in and comes along rather. And um, even my not even my son has a girlfriend, and she came along too. And then the expression on her face, it's wonderful. Oh my God, it's so nice. It's so cozy. It feels like you're on a holiday all the time, and that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to flip the screen and talk to you more about it because it wasn't always a nice cozy home where I lived. I lived in another part, also in the forest, but in a bigger house when I was still married. Big house, fancy house. Um, yeah, everything was there what was supposed to be. I had a lot of dogs, cats running around outside. Well, the dogs came also inside, and horses there. But it was a very rich area where I lived, and it takes a lot more. Um, it takes a lot more effort to make it cozy. It was a nice warm house. I managed to do that, um, but to make it cozy, I prefer to have a smaller house because it's easier to give it that vibe. And but once again, I will flip the screen and I will talk with you more about it. And I hope we're gonna stick around. So I'll see you on the other side of the screen. Right. So here I am on the other side of the screen, as I told you I would do. And well, I'm using a microphone with noise cancelling, but I hope somewhere along the line that the singing of the birds will still come through. It's so nice. So as I can see here now, there is some sort of color changing happening now in the forest, but it will be a lot more in a few days, I guess, even to come. And it's just so beautiful. It's not far from where I live. Yes, we did have a little bit of rain recently, but that's good for nature anyhow. But as coming back to my topic of a cozy home, um, of course I'm talking about my experience and my findings, and I can't say that oh it's better to live here or it's better to live there. I had great times when I lived in my bigger fancy house, and it was mere because of the relationship with my husband didn't went very well. That's why I had to leave that place. But I'm very glad that I found a similar type of location, meaning to say in the forest. Um, and it's a lot smaller than it was, and it's not as fancy, and it's like an off-British, stylish kind of living. It's not like in the States. I'm living in Europe, and the areas are not that big here, but I'm living just not so far away from the cities, but still in nature. And it's lovely. It's really lovely. And as I said, the house is not fancy and it's not perfect, but it's ours and it's nice. Um, I must correct that. It's not ours. I'm renting it, but it feels like ours. We made it our home. It's not my house if you go to the letter of the law, but it's our home, and I kept telling my landlord that, and he likes it that we are taking so that we love his property. That and then he goes along with it, and I think it's just great. And but that comes also with challenges. If it's smaller, because I have three children, and they used to be small, like everybody else's kids, but now they got bigger, and it's been sometimes a challenge to respect everybody's privacy and to allow them to grow and still give them their space. But it's nice. It worked out, and it's still working out, and we still chop and change sometimes things, and we bump into practical things, and we work it out. We work it out because we respect the area that we live in, and we all are grateful for the area because well, we do it. We love it because if you do go to the city, and then I come home, and they as well. They come home exhausted from from the city life or from a busy day at school and stuff like that. And it's so grateful to come back home to this. And also, it's a feeling of togetherness, which is very much present here where we live now. And that's what a cozy cabin does for you. Because I remember that when we lived in a bigger house, the bigger, more perfect house, so to speak, um, the kids weren't using all the space from the house anyhow when they were young because they like to be, well, they went around mom. I mean, I had a little extra picnic table for the kids in the kitchen while I was cooking, and it's so much nicer if they're around you, and even the play room was close to where I would be, or I would be there as well with them actually, and and in a bigger house, so they wouldn't be using all the space. So when we came here in this little cabin, it wasn't a problem because we were used to just stick together, and I guess all in all we became like kind of kind of experts really in finding our places, finding our little spots where we could just still have our own little, we could pull back and have some time for ourselves, especially now they got older. When they're younger, as I said, not because they would stick around me wherever I am in the house. And of course, that's easy in a little house. They don't have to move around so a lot. Of course, I was always there in the center of the house because the house isn't big. It's a ground floor cabin. So we're ultimately not far from each other. But still, when they grow older, they needed some space for themselves, and we worked it out, and we're still working it out, and it's so nice to experience that. We have a big forest garden, not a fancy perfect garden, not with a garden architect or something like that. It's a forest garden, and I remember I was many years ago. I was with a friend, an American woman, a good friend of mine, and I was with her in California. And she showed me Big Sur, and I just fell in love with the area. And we're calling our garden now the Big Sur, which is so nice. And it shows that the vibe I picked up there. I feel that vibe from here when we live now in our own garden. Yeah, it's the Big Sur vibe. I never forget that trip in America and California. She showed me so much, and I'm still so grateful for that because those kind of things you don't forget. As I said, because years and years later, I got the idea of calling our garden the Big Sur. Now, I love that really. And I don't really have neighbors as either. We love that as well. There's no sounds coming through. There is a property next to us, but those people are only coming like 2 times a year just for a little maintenance and stuff like that. But you notice immediately they're coming from, well, they're different. They come from the city, and I don't mean I was born in the city myself, so it's not that I have something against city people, but these people have no feeling for the area that they're in. They talk very loud, and they have no idea how much that echoes through into in the forest, and they just don't. They talk loud, they laugh loud, they call to each other from afar, and they have no feeling for the nice, quiet peaceful area that they're in. And because me and my kids, we talk to each other. Of course, you can't be just quiet, but yeah, you don't shout. You don't shout or scream from one side of the property to the other side. You just not do that. You just don't do that. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't sound good. It sounds intrusive. But yeah, different folks, different strokes, I presume, and they just don't feel it that way. I don't know. I don't know if you recognize any of this, what I'm saying, and how do you feel actually when you are in an area like this? I remember even I had an ex boyfriend many years ago, and he would use the time to go for a walk in the forest, and he would use that specific time to talk deep things about us and about things about our relationship, and he would go into deep talks because he thought, now I have her totally for myself without any obstruction or distraction. And well, you can imagine what happened. You cannot enjoy your walk like that in the forest. So all in all, we at home, we respect the area where we live in, and we respect the smallness and the coziness of our house. We don't only respect it, we love it, we treasure it, because things might always change and things might happen in life, as we all know. And so I believe it's well, they call it mindfulness, I guess. Just enjoy the moment of where you are and where you live and where you what you're doing at the moment, and enjoy as much as possible. I'm not a kind of saint. Of course, we have also our issues sometimes, and somebody is tired or but you don't really take it out on each other. That's rule number one, because our cabin is too small to have any kind of angry or toxic vibe inside, because that will make life unbearable. I mean, even in a big house, but in a small house, vibes from somebody else, from your family member, it filters through, and it touches your heart, and it touches your energy. So we have kind of silent rules we made, I think, about it, and we just don't do that. Don't pull yourself back and work it out a little bit, or call me in and we'll have a talk about it. But we won't let anybody, anything disturb the non-toxic vibe in the house. Not even when people on the phone, we just cut it off. Because even on the phone, it can filter through into your home, because you can sometimes hear the other person's voice on the other side. I said, no, we learned from that as well. You don't come into our home with a toxic vibe. You just don't. Not through the phone, not physically, just not at all. So I can really tell you that we love our cozy home, as you probably gathered already. And yeah, the togetherness is wonderful when you live like that, and still allowing each other our own independence, our own growth, personal growth, and it's sometimes a challenge, but it's a lovely challenge, and miraculously we always seem to work it out. And on the practical side, if we're short of space, we'll be the first one to head for IKEA, because they have some wonderful ideas. And no, I'm not being sponsored by IKEA or anything like that. And I'm not an affiliate, or I don't even think that's possible, being an affiliate of IKEA. But I'm just saying, for practical things, you pick up things from there, or other things on the internet, and get some ideas from there. And other than that, you just work it out and be creative, and just love it all along the way. So, saying this, I hope you pick something up from the nice vibe, and I hope you can bring it also to your home, and maybe it can inspire you to be very aware of people coming into your house, and whether it's through the phone or physically, um, or you don't bring it back from outside where you've been that day and bring it inside, and but you can use that tip, if you want to call it. You can call it for wherever you live, wherever you are, whether it's a big house or a small house. Um, try to, I would say, try to have a cozy, warm home, and a safe haven from where the kids can leave home. Oh, I don't even want to think about that, but that they will come when they will leave home, and they will leave home with a warm feeling, and still a feeling of, yeah, I want to come home sometimes, and relax, and still have that same chill, relaxing feeling when they do come and visit home. But that's still not on for this moment. They're still studying, and they're still happy at home. So by this, I would tell you, I would love to. Not, I'm not telling you anything. I'm just sharing with you. Sorry. Yeah, as you probably gathered, English is not my mother tongue, and I will make mistakes, grammar mistakes, wrongful use of words. But I hope you catch what I'm saying. I think the overall message is just make something nice wherever you live, and treasure it. And I hope you have a warm and cozy home and a safe home. And with this, I will be saying take care of yourself, take good care of yourself and your loved ones. And leave a message if you want, leave a comment, if whether you agree, you don't agree, or your own experiences, or how you do things, or how you live and how you solve certain issues. Just I'd love to hear from you and read your comments. So and with that, I will be saying hope to see you in my next video. Wishing you a very nice day. Bye.